Hey, I'm Jamie with Spruce Road, and I'm excited to dive into a unique take that I have on branding, which is called backwards branding. So maybe you were like me in the past, and designing brands felt a little bit overwhelming at times. You're overwhelmed by the amount of fonts to choose from, thinking that logos always had to have some sort of like super clever hidden object in the negative space or an illustration or something like that. And it can all feel a little bit overwhelming. And so I started this process called backwards branding, and it helped relieve a lot of the stress from me. Now, in design school, I was taught to always start with pen and paper first, pencil and paper, and do tons of thumbnail sketches. And I love that process, but things don't work so linearly for me and my brain. So I can't just work on sketches and then go to the computer and design a logo and then translate that into a submark and then translate that into a brand guide, things like that. I'm really kind of all over the place and it's not so linear. So while I do those elements, it's not always in that specific order. Sometimes it's part of this, and then it all comes together at the end. And so this is what I call backwards branding. And here are 3 tips to get started with backwards branding. The first is to just take the pressure off of the logo. Let's take a breath and just take the pressure off of the logo. Now, while the logo is a significant part of a brand, it is not the brand. There's a lot of elements that go into a visual identity beyond the logo. As designers, we need to recognize that there's a whole bunch that goes into a visual brand and not just the logo. While it's important, it's not the only thing. So first step is to take the pressure off of the logo. And then next one, number 2, is to let the fonts do the legwork. So select fonts that have a lot of distinctive characteristics within them, fonts that have a lot of personality, and so they will do a lot of the legwork for you as a brand designer. And so select those fonts and you can always tweak and modify from there. The third tip is to do backwards branding, which is to design the logo last or in conjunction with the brand identity. So I always design with typography and the logo together. So here's an example of what I mean. You'll see the logo and then you'll see it in context with some typography like headline, subhead. It could be a mock-up of a promotion. It could be an opt-in pop-up form. It could be website mock-up, whatever it may be that's applicable to that client. Design it in conjunction with the logo to make sure everything is working seamlessly together. So there you have it, 3 simple tips to get started on backwards branding. And you'll see a huge shift in your process from being locked into this linear thinking of this, then that, and just a huge relief off of not thinking of the logo so much. And you'll be able to be opened up into new fonts to use, new layouts, things like that, and to be able to see the whole brand and context together. I'm excited for you to get started. And next video, I'm going to be sharing about a few practical tips into selecting the fonts for those brands. See you next time.